Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We'll talk about transformation skills for sustainable future. I'm Christian and I'll guide you through today's webinar, who is kindly provided to us by EIT Campus in collaboration with EUData Jobs. So today we'll explore sustainable data transformation and how it reshapes businesses, society, and the environment. And we'll talk about this with our fantastic panelists. Regina Carvalho, founder of EUData Jobs and sustainability manager with a deep experience in digital innovation and ESG reporting. Luisa Esposito, project manager at EIT Campus and a passionate advocate for education and sustainability. And Viviana Rojas, an EdTech entrepreneur, CEO of Digital Mente and personal branding PE. And she's creating AI-driven learning solutions for education and employability in Latin America, Europe. I'm super happy to start this session. Please, a kind reminder, this session will be recorded and you will get a link to the recording afterwards. And it's going to be structured in several steps. So first we have some opening questions, quick opening questions, then a poll to everyone in the webinar, followed by a panel discussion about sustainability, a second poll, then a short cross-cutting dialogue, and then we'll open the session to question and answers from you. Thank you everyone again for joining us. So let's start. So for this part, we'll have like quick questions. Please, panelists, keep your answer short. We've got about 5 minutes in total. And I would need an answer from each of you. Let's start with Regina. What motivated you to work at the intersection of sustainability and data?
Thank you so much, Christian. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. For me, it really clicked when I saw how much impact in general good data can have. And especially in sustainability, you can improve what you can measure. And data combined with, for example, the right technology makes definitely things more transparent and sometimes practical to implement. So I actually created EUData Jobs, and it was driven by the motivation of helping people and as well to access the skills and information that they need to be part of a change. And that change can be sustainability, can be as well anything else that you are passionate about or people are passionate about. And it's also exciting to see how data, when well managed, can actually drive to real measurable progress towards, for example, a more sustainable world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So what about you, Luisa? What's your motivation to work at the core of sustainability and innovation education?
Well, first of all, hello, everyone. Well, this intersection actually feels very natural to me, and this is due because of my background in education reform projects at Cambridge University, and that showed me the power of learning to drive system change. And now with the EIT Campus and EIT Urban Mobility, I've been able to connect this to sustainability, and this has allowed me to create pathways for lifelong learning that supports green and digital transitions.
Amazing. Viviana, what's your motivation to do what you do? Yeah, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I was muted. I was speaking. So I was saying that since I grew up in Latin America, since early in my life, I saw firsthand how access to quality education and to real life opportunities can transform not just individual life, but but an entire community. And later, when I was already working with scholarships and employability programs, I realized that education alone, just quality education with the world that we're living on now, is not just enough, but people need also skills and knowledge and mindsets on how to apply all this education, all the theory that we learn in education. It needs to be somehow applied in order to cause real impact, right? So that's where the importance of data comes in, and especially in the world we're living now that has so many changes towards the future, it's really important for people to not only be able to I don't know the theory, but as well to apply it, and everything that has technology related and data and sustainability is going to be part of a really, really near future. That is already changing lives in different scenarios. So all these learnings from what I've learned from my peers, from my students, and from my projects are what are inspiring my mission today. And it's the intersection on these three topics that is really driving my passion for change. I've seen the real impact that education and data and sustainability mindset can have. So that's the real motivation behind it. Yeah.
So speaking about real impact, that's a great point. Viviana, what's a skill every professional should be developing right now? What's one skill you would suggest them to develop?
Right now, I would say, apart from data literacy, because I mean, everything comes from data, right? You have to research before you do anything else. You have to research in order to get to know it. But I would say that the skill is the transformation of data into tangible outcomes, like the creativity. And particularly right now, in the context, in the economical context we're living now, we are living in the creator economy. I don't know if you've heard about this concept. Have you heard about this concept of the creator economy? Yeah. So I would say that the ability of turning data into real products, into real services, into real impact, to create things with that data is the ability that people should be learning right now, no matter the background, because from every background there can be something done regarding impact.
So very quick, same question for Luisa, then Regina.
Well, I would agree with the creativity part. For me, it's one of the most important skills today because it keeps us curious. It helps us actually see the patterns in data and question assumptions, and also help us designing innovative solution. And then to link to what Viviana was saying, yes, you need to be able to turn data into a product or a service. So that's why creativity for me needs to be nurtured today. And also it helps to process, transform systems of process and business model that they then need to be transformed into sustainable models. And that's why lifelong learning here is super important to support this particular skill.
And yeah, I mean, I agree with Viviana and Luisa, and just to complement a bit what they said, I would say data literacy in general, because you don't need to be like a super data scientist or to have even that role. If you have, okay, great. But if you don't, at least you need to understand how to read data, how to question it, how to make even the hypothesis to it, and to allow to arrive to better decisions or to make a certain type of good decisions. And data literacy kind of has that package together with the creativity, together with everything else that Luisa and Viviana said, and all that combined that can make you understand better the big picture, then that's a great thing to have then, because you're going then to tailor it and improve it along the time.
Thank you so much. So speaking about big picture, I have a question for our audience today. How familiar are you with the concept of sustainable data transformation? If you could please help us with answering this poll, I'll try and keep you updated with the answers as they come in. First of all, thank you so much. I see the voting's pouring in. Thank you so much for being so engaged with this question. And I already can see a mix of knowledge. Some of you are somewhat familiar, 45%. Some of you have heard of it, 21% not so familiar, and 10% of you are experts. So we're looking forward to speaking to you in a follow-up webinars. Thank you for that. So it's time to start our panel discussion, in which each panelist will answer a couple questions. So I'm going to start with Regina. Regina, you're uniquely positioned between the worlds of data, AI, and ESG. So how can you, if you can tell us a bit about the skills you use for ESG reporting, and specifically data skills on demand.
Thank you so much, Christian. So, absolutely. In my opinion, like what we are seeing with the in ESG more in Europe, for example, the corporate sustainability reporting directive, it's really a game changer. Exactly. Corporates are right now implementing this directive through the European Sustainability Reporting Standards, the so-called ESRS. And here, data skills are definitely valued. So it's not this directive or these European sustainability standards are not just a layer of bureaucracy. They are definitely a fundamental broadening what companies need to report and how they manage these ESG information. So, of course, all of a sudden, it was especially for this last year report, 2024, that they had to handle with a massive spectrum of data from environment, social, society, and governance. I mean, and the main problem was due to the fact that it was not just metrics like emissions or CO2 carbon emissions and this kind of stuff, but it was as well about the workforce, the diversity as well across the supply chain. So this shift drove definitely to a demand for clean, compliant, and robust digital data schemes. It depends, okay, how companies some companies perhaps in the beginning just use Excel and things like that, but definitely robust data systems are needed, for example, with this directive in Europe to take care of ESG data or matters in the corporate world. And also, in my opinion, what we are also seeing is a boom in roles that blend ESG knowledge with strong data and tech fluency. So at the end, this is incredible, actually. So jobs like sustainability reporting specialists or even ESG data analysts, even in the audit area, it's not only in the corporate, but as well in the audit area, really require hands-on skills and data analytics, data visualizations even, because it's not only for the report itself, it's also how you transmit your development, because it's a whole year to just implement, for example, that directive. How do you transmit it to the board members, so like that they really understand how can they also start to think about options towards a more sustainable integration or towards a more integration of sustainability in their strategy and business model. So yeah.
So you're saying reporting ESG is a blend of multiple skills. And
exactly.
My follow-up question for you is, you know, we have all these professionals in law and other professions who are working together. What's the best way to acquire the data skills needed for CSRD or ESG, and what are some small steps they can take maybe today on EU data jobs?
For example, to stay ahead, definitely if you read or if you get to know something more about sustainability itself, that's a great thing. And as well in terms of legislation, if you are a bit more into legal things, also it's very good. But nevertheless, as well, if you are just into the data part, it's also fine to enter in the sustainability world. But for example, using EU data jobs, and here I would say taking the shoes of a job seeker that is trying to move towards data and AI and then implement in sustainability. You can start to search, for example, for what you would like to in EU data jobs. If you go there, you can search for a role that you are interested in, and then you can start to see the main requirements that are being asked in the job descriptions. That's a very nice and simple analysis that anyone can do. And then, of course, each company is different because depending on the pyramid of data needs, they will definitely search for candidates according what they need to develop. So if they are still in the collection phase, then they will ask for mainly data engineers. If they are more into the exploration and transformation of data, then maybe data analysts. But if they are towards analytics and training data, then machine learning engineers or even data scientists. So, but already analyzing the job positions, the job seekers can have a look on what kind of skills they have to go for. And then as well in EdTech jobs, for example, we also have blog posts where, for example, we also, in collaboration with EIT Campus, we say where the people can also search for courses in not only in data, but as well in sustainability. And also we have, for example, our curated bookshelf where we gather as much as possible the essential knowledge of data science, and AI. We also ask to people if they have any kind of a book recommendation, they can just write us at the very bottom. So yeah, and again, in collaboration with EIT Campus offers a great online course catalog, and that Luisa will in the meantime as well say, but I definitely have to also advertise for it. So definitely throughout the jobs, job seekers and people that want to make small steps can come to us, and then from then continue towards other domains, other parts where they can see what kind of skills or what kind of roles they can go for. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Regina. So this is a great follow-up for Luisa. So Luisa, EIT Campus focuses on upskilling and lifelong learning. You have an amazing set of digital courses already available on your platform, and that's growing constantly. Could you tell us a bit about the opportunity to learn sustainability and especially data-driven sustainability on your platform?
Well, the EIT Campus, and thank you, Regina, for introducing us very well. At the EIT Campus, our core is actually making lifelong learning a way to drive real change. So as you said, our platform offers flexible, mostly online and affordable courses and learning pathways for professionals, students, startups, entrepreneurs, helping them exactly this, the necessary skills in both sustainability and data-driven transformations. We have several levels, so you can choose from beginner to intermediate and advanced. It depends on where your journey is. It could be upskilling, reskilling, or skilling in general. And this is important to say because learners in this way can actually track their own progress at their own pace, while exploring how to apply, while exploring practical ways to apply data, integrate sustainable practice, and transform processes for hopefully lasting impact, And I want to give you a specific example here, just one of the courses that we have. And this course is called Urban Green Infrastructures. And this course actually shows how to design greener cities using system thinking and data. Therefore, as you can see, this is just a simple example, but beyond knowledge, our courses give learner exactly that, what we talked about at the beginning, the mindset, the confidence, and tools to lead innovation and create meaningful, measurable changes. And this is key for me across sectors.
Great. So, okay, so speaking about such complex innovation, so you mentioned green cities and data. AI is a great accelerator, and we are in the times of AI. Everyone's talking about it. And so in your view, how do you see AI as an opportunity and as an enabler rather than a gap producer?
Well, if we looking at what is happening today in today's world that is changing so fast, we can already say that AI and data are fundamentally transforming or reshaping lifelong learning, not just by the skills that are in demand, by transforming also the way we learn, upskill, and obviously create impact. So the real opportunity here is not just about teaching technical AI skills in isolation, but it's about offering accessible, hands-on courses that allow learning to use AI and digital tools to solve real-world challenges, especially in sustainability. That's why EIT Campus as a platform is very important because, as mentioned before, we help learners move from basic understanding to actively apply AI for sustainable innovation. We design our courses to be inclusive and practical. So as mentioned, people from different backgrounds can gain these critical skills that are important for green and digital transitions. But also it's important to say that we embed in our courses ethical use of AI, responsible and ethical. So we encourage learners to reflect on bias, on access, and obviously on societal impact. And also beyond the skills, we foster intersectoral learning communities. We bring together professionals from different backgrounds like law, business, urban development, etc. So learners, or you as a learner, potential learner, can see how data and AI drive just and inclusive transformation in companies, in public institutions, and perhaps within your community. So we don't only help people to use AI and data effectively, but we want to make sure, and we want to show that they use, we want to empower learners to lead meaningfully, inclusively, and across sectors. And this is, again, I want to highlight this because it's across sector that we can actually lead and create innovation and see the bigger picture.
So that's a great point of view. So AI is an enabler. And so now my question goes to Viviana, because Viviana, you're an EdTech, you're a very successful EdTech entrepreneur. You've helped thousands of students learn new skills, especially digital skills. You've helped them also, some of them got international scholarships. So from your experience, thinking about what Luisa said about cross domains upskilling, what would be your advice to a student who wants to start in this field? We can't hear you.
Sorry. No, I was saying that I totally agree. I want to build up on what Luisa said because I think that the content and the education and courses that are available on the EIT campus are essential for this transformation. And I actually have recommended it to my students as well. So because what I do is basically I help them build global profiles. So profiles and skills that will make them globally competitive and globally successful, right? In order to be globally successful, you need to learn data literacy because you need to learn how to interpret data. You need to learn how to see the trends on the future of work, on the job market, and in general, in what's happening in the world. That's the first thing you need to learn. Then what you also need to learn is systemic thinking, which is also an interdisciplinary skill, right? You need to learn how everything connects from different fields of knowledge. And apart from that, you need to, once you have the data, once you have the systemic view, then you need to learn how to communicate that, right? And then, so a third very important skill that I would definitely advise people who want to start in this journey to develop is how to share what they learn, how to share the knowledge, how to communicate, how to create effective digital communication in this case, because digital has no boundaries, no geographical boundaries, right? So for people who want to start in this, I would highly advise to start focusing on these three skills, and particularly to develop a mindset to develop a free mindset. I call it a free mindset because interdisciplinarity right now is the most important, I would say, from my perspective, is one of the most important. I don't know if to call it skills, but I would say it's one of the most important characteristics for a professional to have in order to be still relevant into the future. So you don't need to be at the moment super focused on your own topic only, but you have to be aware of what's happening around you and how with your knowledge you can contribute to what's happening around you, right? And for this is very important to just, be all over the place. So I would say that, interdisciplinarity, adaptability, and to start exercising, because it's an exercise, it's a practice that you have to develop. You have to start practicing your global profile and your global mindset, talking to people from different places of the world, these kind of webinars help a lot as well, because here we are people from different countries and from different backgrounds and from different fields of knowledge, and we are talking about the same thing, so after this webinar maybe we can connect and we can make meaningful contributions to our network, but as well to our knowledge on how the future will develop on this field.
Actually, speaking about creating these future-oriented mindsets, and so through Digitalmente, you not only help individuals but also institutions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder, how would an already established professional who is curious about this field, maybe it's new for them, maybe it's tangent to what they do today, how can they, using Digitalmente, acquire some of the skills, thinking about lifelong learning and so on?
So within Digitalmente, we are very much into entrepreneurial education. So we are fans of learning by doing. So I would say, and you would be surprised of how many professionals that have already a lot of years of experience, one day they wake up and they realize, oh, what I'm doing is actually not passionate for me, or what I'm doing, I think I want to change my career. It doesn't vibe with me anymore. So, and sometimes because of the age, they think that it's too late for me, or I cannot change anymore. And this is not true at all. Especially in the world we live in right now, we can always learn new things. We can always upskill. The information and the education and the training is available one Google search away. It's not even difficult to access to it. You just have to do it. So my advice for not only the institutions but the professionals that I work with is always to keep an open mind, that and don't restrict yourself. This may sound cliche, but I think in the state of the status quo of the future of work and what skills are needed in the future, is not cliche anymore. You have to be open in order to accept that it's never late, and you can always change. You can always move from where you are. So this sense of this mindset of adaptability and this mindset of continuous learning and continuous improvement and the feeling of I can do it, it's very important to develop. And it may sound obvious, but it's not obvious. A lot of people are really restrain themselves in order to restrain themselves from actually following what they are interested or curious about at the moment, because they think, oh no, it's just not for me anymore. I'm already past that. But that's just that mindset of I can do it and it's not late. That is the main instigator for all the change. And then you will see that the world is interdisciplinary, and you just have to follow your curiosity from them. So that's my best advice. Follow your curiosity and use your digital tools and all the information that is available there in order to prepare for the future. And there's no better guide than your curiosity.
So these are two amazing points I take from you. There's curiosity is essential, and it's never too late to learn something new. And so now I have a question for the audience. Which skills do you think are important for a professional to develop this kind of data skills for sustainability? I'll try to tell you about the results in real time. So 50% data skills, communication skills 17% and growing. Oh, actually 32 now. "30 more seconds to vote." And we kind of have two champions, so data skills and communication storytelling with data. That probably includes data visualization too. Understanding regulation, ethical AI, and data governance are about 15% each. Thank you so much for voting. I hope everyone sees the scores. So most of you voted for data analysis, followed by communication skills. and then understanding regulatory frameworks like ESG, and of course developing all this with ethics and data governance in mind. Thank you so much for participating. We arrived to our second half of our panel, which is a cross-cutting discussion. In this part, I ask all panelists to just jump in whenever you feel like it. So my first question to all of you ladies is, how can professionals from non-technical background like law, policy, business successfully enter the world of sustainability and data? What's the biggest challenges? Maybe you see some opportunities here too.
Can I start?
Sir, please.
Yeah, because actually it's interesting, and I want to connect to the results of the poll when they were talking about communication and storytelling. So when we look at different backgrounds here, that there's an opportunity here to bring in a different perspective. So if we look at law, for example, or a policymaker, they can actually look at governance, ethic, and real-world impact. So they can analyze data, and for example, they can turn it into action. So they can transform data into strategy, regulation, or stakeholder engagement, or they can champion some responsible practice, ensure data is used ethically and inclusively, asking questions about bias, privacy, or societal impact that tech experts sometimes or may sometimes overlook. And they can bridge sectors, to be honest, where they can work with digital experts and they can co-create tools, services, or even policies that work with everybody, not only in tech's insiders. So I was very well surprised when I saw the communication and the storytelling, because actually you don't need to, my advice is, you don't need to become technical fluent. You know, you, like Viviana was saying, and Regina as well, you need to start building your data literacy. You need to learn to interpret the data, question assumption, and collaborate, again, across discipline and sectors. I don't know if the ladies want to jump in.
Exactly. On that regard, there you go, is very well said, because even if you are, for example, a lawyer, let's say like that, in the implementation of this European legislation regarding the corporate sustainability reporting directive. So a lawyer will be super useful, for example, because it will understand the legislation from the European Union, which for some people can be a tremendous nightmare, you know. So, and just to look at it, structure it, and see, okay, there's quantitative data, there's qualitative data. How can then we transform this in a way that we can get the data that we need and then report it? And just that mindset, even if you are not a super data technical person, but you come with a background that makes you comfortable to actually take that first step, the analysis of what is being asked. That's great, because you're not going to do the things alone, totally alone, because otherwise you would have to have like 10 bachelor degrees just, or maybe, you know, superpower of working 48 hours on a day, or 24 hours in a row, sorry. So you will be always in a team maybe that deals more with technical aspects, which is building up the system that you need to actually collect that data, analyze it in a way that then you can make use to make your storytelling for the boards or team leaders or whoever is asking for it, committees, you know, you name it. It's according each corporate organization. But then at the end, the final report. And okay, in this regard, for example, the directive that I'm speaking about is an annual report. But there might be some other cases, other linked with sustainability, that need quarterly report or monthly report. So nevertheless, definitely it's an interdisciplinary team that usually these people are, or this topic, sustainability topic, for example, is looking for, because you cannot just be, you are good in what you are, in your expertise, but at the end, don't be afraid that you have to be as well top tech in other things. No, if you are great, you are going to be maybe working more directly with people that are in the deep system tech part, but as well other people that are not so much, like policymakers, business analysts. They can enter very nicely as well in this world.
Yeah, I want to add and build up on what Luisa and Regina said, that I mean, I work with professionals from all the fields of knowledge, and I am always surprised of the great ideas that come up or come out from people that come from the humanities and from social sciences and from non-technical backgrounds at all. And sometimes they feel that their ideas are maybe too much in the clouds, or that they really don't. I mean, they have the willingness to maybe in this case to become entrepreneurs, because we have especially an entrepreneurial bootcamp, like, so that you can put your project into life. So they want to do it, but they don't know how to do it. No, and this is where data and all these technical but non-technical skills come in, right? Once you know how to interpret what's happening around you, then you will be able to design better products, better solutions, to make better decisions. And you don't need to become like a data scientist. You don't need to learn R or something like that, or hard statistics to start doing that. You just need to learn, as Lisa said, how to work with data, you know, to understand data literacy. And with that, well, that opens for you like a door that has a lot of possibilities for you to follow, right? And once you learn how to design by data, then you will feel way better. I would say way more secure in the decisions that you're making, and as well in the confidence that you are showing when describing your idea or your potential idea or your potential product or your potential decision to your audience, right? So because you have facts, it's not only your imagination, or it's not only that, you have facts for that. So professionals from every background, especially from non-technical backgrounds, because this is as well a thing that it's kind of like a criticism that I've heard often for these non-technical backgrounds, like social sciences or humanities, that yeah, you do a lot of theory and maybe you create a lot of research and papers, but how do you really apply that in the real world? Oof, there's a lot of data that can support you on how you can apply that in the real world. So I think it's even more relevant right now for people from non-technical backgrounds than for technical backgrounds. So that's the main thing I would say.
Great points there. Thank you so much. So how do you really apply that in the real world is a follow-up to how do you create responsible data transformation? So I want to ask you, in your opinions, how can we best combine whatever happens in innovation with protecting the environment and also developing an ethical practice of data? Or maybe are there even opportunities for entrepreneurship at the crossroads of these two initiatives?
Well, for me, I would say, sorry, I always start first. I would say that responsible data transformation for me is actually understanding how data and technology drive innovation, yes, but also constantly learning how these may affect, these changes actually may affect people and the planet. So it's important to make sure that the progress isn't just fast or smart, but is also ethical and sustainable. I want to give you an example because for me, lifelong learning, and this is key, especially for the EIT campus and our offering, how lifelong learning is key because it helps professionals identify solutions that actually maximize benefits and can reduce harm or risks. So I'll give you an example about urban mobility, but only because I work in urban mobility and education. But for example, cities can use traffic and energy data to optimize public transport routes. This is very specific example. But doing this responsibly means not only improving efficiency, but also considering equity. So that means ensuring that underserved neighborhoods get better access. But also, if we look at energy data, it means minimizing the environmental impact, so like reducing emission. So for us, it's key as a platform offering opportunities for learning. It's important to learn how to interpret and apply data. This way, professionals can balance innovation with ethical and environmental responsibility.
Yes, I would also add that we don't have to just see data as numbers, but as well, I mean, we don't, data means something. Data has an impact on the real world. Data are just, I mean, the data, these are the spreadsheets that you're reading, right? And your statistics, but those statistics have a real impact in the world. And I think that a responsible data transformation is to embed in the mindset of every person that uses data is that these numbers actually mean something, you know, and don't lose the human side of what it means, you know, like, it's so important to realize that every decision that we make and in the case of companies, like every decision that a company makes has an effect on the customers, has an effect on the employees, has an effect on the broader stakeholders. So to see the ability to see how everything is interconnected is something that has to go along with the data transformation. It's not only the data and the numbers, but it's as well understanding the real world impact that's happening with because of this, you know, or how we can explain this impact as well because of this. So these are those two concepts that are kind of feeding each other constantly, right? The human side and the data side.
Yeah, not much to add actually. Viviana and Luisa replied very well, I would say. It's definitely in practice about driving innovation while putting some safeguard, let's say like that, in place so the progress itself is not harmed, doesn't harm trust, neither sustainability. So, I mean, of course, there's going to be all these impacts together with risks, but as well opportunities. And to be able, a company to be able to put all these together, it's not so straightforward. But as long these insights are there, then it's the very first step towards the responsible data transformation, because that path is going to be quite long in several fronts. Yeah.
So actually, thank you very much. So picking up on what Luisa first said about creating innovation through green mobility, you know, I think everyone wants to live in a clean, safe city, but our cities are growing and we need urban mobility more than ever because we have to move around and we need to do that sustainable. As far as I understood from all your answers, developing data-driven solutions is a great opportunity. So my next question for you is, if you can imagine this opportunity as a collaboration between companies and public institutions, is there an opportunity also for experts to share skills between these two worlds, between the industry world and the governance world or public administration world?
I mean,
definitely.
yeah.
Go,
No,
Lisa.
go, Viviana. No, go.
I mean, I'm thinking about Latin America. This would be so useful in my region because, yeah, this is especially talking about all what's related to urban mobility and safe cities and clean cities. This is something that in Latin America is lacking a lot. We have, oh my God, I come from Lima. I don't know if you've ever been to Peru or to Lima. Lima has the worst traffic jams I've ever experienced. I've been around the world, but Lima still wins on the traffic jams and everything that is related to feeling actually comfortable and safe within the city. There is a disconnect between unfortunately, there's still a high disconnect between governmental institutions and the private organizations that are organizing all that are taking part on this on the mobility service and on the urban services, and like a combination of them, like just for them to be together and talk and just interchange ideas and exchange ideas, that would be already so useful for creating and designing better solutions to the problems of real people, what they're experiencing every day. Definitely. And Lima is only one of the examples that I can give you. In Latin America, there are many opportunities of this industry and government collaboration in order to design better solutions for the people and for the society. So that was the main thing that was coming to my mind. Like, this is what I always talk to my friends too. And when do we build these bridges between these two parts so that we can actually create solutions that are working in the needs for the people? So yeah, that's my take.
No, and I want to add to that because you earlier mentioned about interdisciplinary approach and system thinking, which is basically looking at the bigger picture because it's not only about urban mobility, it's about everything else and
Yes,
includes
exactly.
also, how we transport food or how we grow food in general. So for me, it's important for company and institutions. They need to make upskilling in green and digital skills, a strategic priority. They need to be able to help employees adapt existing roles and create new roles because obviously this world is changing. So we need to make sure that we get ready for what is going to happen. And that's why here at the EIT campus, we focus on interdisciplinary, and that's why we focus on having flexible online courses in several areas like innovation, sustainability, entrepreneurship, digital skill, urban mobility, food. And this way we make lifelong learning accessible for all. And then I want to say something. In general, commitment is actually growing. However, we really need to accelerate the upskilling efforts. And not only in Latin America, I can tell you in Europe, Viviana, is more or less the same. We really need to accelerate this upskilling effort because we need to make the workforce ready for these important transitions,
No,
green and
definitely.
digital.
No, exactly. And you spoke about workforce, for example, a case of collaboration between data transformation and sustainability goals. For example, in the General Electrics, they apply AI to their industrial operations in order to predict the maintenance needs. So when to maintain, exact point of it, but as well to lower waste and as well improve efficiency. So if the goals are these ones, for example, improving efficiency or even in terms of sustainability to lower the waste, they apply technology, they apply AI, but as well they need the workforce to understand exactly that. So it's how the beginning of such collaborations will have an impact in the workforce, and this should be seen not a bad thing, neither a frightening thing, but as an opportunity, definitely.
Thank you so much. So we arrived to our most interesting part of this webinar, which is the Q&A questions. Dear participants, dear everyone, please use the Q&A box you find the box at the bottom of your screen in your Zoom window. Please use that because we disabled the general chat to our digital attack earlier before. Meanwhile, the questions comes through the Q&A box. I have a quick questions for each of you, if you can answer shortly. What's one piece of advice you would give to someone who finally decides to work in sustainability? Very short.
Very shortly, I would say to join a community that is inclusive, open, and supporting, and actually a community that that accepts people from diverse backgrounds. And we have actually a community at the EIT campus, which is an online community, and it's a space where learners and professionals from different disciplines can collaborate, share ideas, and grow together, basically, towards this sustainable future. So a community is important.
Definitely, I must agree with Luisa, and as well practice as you can, and create your own group, even peer group, and chat about it. Try the things about, read, make failures, lots of failures, so like that you can be successful. In a nutshell, it will be that.
I agree with both of them. I mean, I would just say you can start in LinkedIn if you if you want to build a global community. LinkedIn is a good place. I was going to share my LinkedIn account on the chat, but now the chat is disabled. So if you can connect, if you want to connect, but now definitely that is to have a community and to have people around you that are sharing your passions and your interests. This is a boost up for all for the initiatives and the things that come up to your mind. So definitely building a community is the main thing, I would say. Right.
Thank you so much. So questions are coming in the Q&A, and the first one is, could you please share a recent example where sustainable data transformation created a real business or societal impact? Do you have an example?
I have an example, and it is created. it is on the way of being created. So I also, apart from the digital academy I have where I upskill people, I also lead an innovation lab where we design solutions for the future of education and work with a high focus on sustainability. Sustainability is one of our main verticals. And we won from European funds. We won almost €500,000 for European funds for a project that is it's called Green Shift. It's an EdTech dedicated to leverage and upskill people that are working with mining in the Amazon regions of Peru and Bolivia. So these people are people that are actually that normally they don't have access to formal education. These are miners that learn the skill or learn the craft just by passing information from generation to generation. And this comes with a lot of dangers, not only for them, but as well for the environment, right? Like the use of mercury and a lot of bad practices that can be easily solved with training, with training. So we used data, and we did a big field research before creating all these projects, before creating the project proposal. And at the end, we transform all of these insights that we got from the miners and from the communities and from the usage of it into an actionable solution that was stated in the project, but at the end got this funding. So now this project is a reality. It's happening. We are partners from 5 countries that are working towards this, and should be ready next year. But we are already hoping and talking with the beneficiaries that will be the communities in the Amazon regions of Peru and Bolivia, and they are super excited about this. So this is already for me a big change, because they are passing from having no access to education at all towards to having a platform where they can learn the skills and the craft that they're doing to sustain their lives and sustain their families. So we are very happy with that use of data and the transformation of data that we kind of applied into a real world project for real world impact. So that would be my example on my end.
Thank you so much. So Antoine asks a follow-up. So what about organizations who just start to integrate sustainable data practices? What's your main advice for them?
That to not to give up, because sometimes the path can be long and a bit stressful and as well demotivating, but the future is sustainable. So, and for example, now I work in a corporate, but I know that there is a kind of mini version of the implementation of these European sustainability reporting standards for small and medium enterprises. Even if it's a little bit, it's far more reduced than compared to what the corporates have to report, but it's already kind of an idea on how whoever is curious to integrate in a more standardized way at the European level, how to implement this in their own organizations and businesses. This will be one way to start to look at, to get familiar, to ask to some support about how to interpret exactly that same legislation and some guidance. And then either in the future that organization, independently of the business that they are doing and the number of employees, they will be eventually, it's going to be eventually mandatory. There's a series of requirements that they have to follow, and then you have to see if you are obliged or not. I think it's in 2027 or 2028 to report that. Nevertheless, if that helps you to get some ideas on how to become more sustainable, that could be as well an interesting way to have a look to it, a different perspective. But but keep the mindset that this is a long road to go. Yeah. So nevertheless, do not give up. Just continue. Think about it. Be with like-minded people, and then one day, but really one day, this is going to hit the ground, and you will be already done with the big part of the work.
Yeah, unfortunately, sustainable development doesn't come only with opportunities, there's some risks involved. So one participant asks, how can we address performative greenwashing from individuals and organizations?
Hard question. I will let Regina go. Regina, who's corporate specialist.
Yeah, this is I mean, greenwashing, first of all, has to be classified by the own organization itself in a way that can the public or can our clients perceive it as greenwashing. The products that we are, promoting, for that internally, I think you have to think very well about it. Yeah, it's not an easy thing, neither there is no one way to go, but if you find the best one for you, then good, apart from other standards as well. But I don't have, for now, a very straightforward answer towards that. I don't know if my colleagues, Viviana or Luisa, may have.
Yeah, I think I can help you with that because there are EU regulations on that as well that actually they have some kind of how do you call it, leaflets that you can actually see what the regulations are on that, perhaps how they label the products, perhaps that can help you. But also, I would say, yes, continue talking to your peers and join communities because they may have already implemented some of this regulation, so they have a model. And obviously, you need to continue educating yourself because, it's kind of greenwashing is actually very difficult to probably stop or to regulate or control the regulation. So it will have an impact other way. But definitely there are EU regulations already in place. And I would say, yes, continue talking to other communities or your peers because maybe they have a model that is actually more effective.
Exactly, and try to be as transparent as possible.
Yes.
That will be already like the first step towards avoiding actually that. To be as transparent as possible, even if it's a huge risk at the same time. But yeah. Thank you so much, Lisa.
I would just add just small thing as well. More than transparency, sincere. No, I would say sincerity is important from the creation of your service or your product. I mean, people know what is greenwashing and what is not greenwashing. I mean, from the decision makers as well, it's known. So I mean, we have to be coherent in what we are saying. We have to be sincere, and as well, we have to understand as companies. And here I include myself. I mean, I'm not in huge corporate, but I mean, from the I still develop products and services. We have to understand that we, in the world we're living in, and act according to our morals and ethics on that, So I think that's the best way of going to, just avoiding greenwashing from the start. Don't create something in order to then blush it and make it green. No. So yeah, that's
totally.
Yeah.
We have 1 minute left, and maybe we have the opportunity to end it on a good note. So there's two questions which are kind of similar. So someone asks, what's the most critical skill to acquire for a sustainability professional? And I want to mix it with Shashi's question, who asks, what's a good training or certification to get to enter in the sustainability domain? So how do you enter and how do you keep relevant for the next 10 years? Maybe you can answer in 1 minute.
Well, I would say I'm going to talk about the critical skills that I think we mentioned throughout the webinar. So we talked about creativity, data literacy, curiosity, ethical decision making, and I want to add one, make sure that you collaborate across sectors and cross-functional teams. This is for the skills part.
Any certification you think are relevant for this? Project management? Like that.
Well, I mean, any certification could be project management or data analysis, it can be even a micro credential. If you follow learning pathway and you get a micro credential that it's actually accredited, it's useful. However, the important thing is don't get fixed on the certificate, rather on the journey. You constantly need to keep learning and stay relevant.
Maybe we have 1 minute for one last question, which is if you know any software platform or tool that can be used for analyzing sustainable data.
Power BI, it's one of them. Just start with it, organize the data that you think it's relevant to show, make even set up a mini project for yourself. How would you present a certain data to a board? Even if it's an imaginary one. I'm speaking about here on how to prepare and how to get familiar with such a tool. BI, it's from Microsoft. It's a good one to start with, honestly. And I think there's a free version and everything. So yeah.
Power BI, yes.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say that one too.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much, dear panelists. Thank you so much for everyone involved. I'm hoping you'll turn up for follow-up events. Please do check EIT Campus for amazing skills. Please stay in contact with Digitalmente, Viviana. Please check career opportunities on EU Data Jobs. Apologies for the interruption earlier. We promise we'll fix that in the future. And wish you all a very great day. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.